I just need Aaron Rodgers to make it through the game, please, because I would genuinely like to watch the Jets this year have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. So we're gonna manifest that. No injuries, nothing like that's happening. We're just getting a really good Jets team versus a really good Niners team. Carmen, who you got is the matchup that matters in this one?
This is said a little tongue in cheek, but it is Leonard Floyd against Aaron Rodgers' Achilles in particular.
The Achilles is going to be good. Manifest. Come on.
Well, if you recall, Leonard Floyd was the one that tackled Rodgers when he ruptured his Achilles last year. Leonard Floyd then with the Buffalo Bills. Oh. He's now with the Niners. That is why it is a very specific matchup.
That is a deep cut.
It's a deep cut, and it's going to obviously make a difference. Now, part of that is obviously, can the offensive line hold up for Aaron Rodgers? So by de facto, we'll get to my plus factor later, but this is going to be we've gotten the worst of Aaron Rodgers because we've just gotten the talking Aaron Rodgers. We haven't gotten the playing Aaron Rodgers. And the fun part about Aaron Rodgers is his play on the field, because there is virtually no one else that is more fun to watch play the quarterback position than Aaron Rodgers, save for maybe Patrick Mahomes. But growing up watching Aaron Rodgers, I want to see that Aaron Rodgers back. He is only 2 seasons removed from an MVP season, but his last year with the Packers, which is the last time he played a full season, he was hurt with a thumb injury, looked very mid. Last year, we all know what happened. So I know the league wants him to justify putting the Jets in prime time again, because we all got stuck watching the Jets last year in prime time entirely too many times. And hopefully this year it'll work out. So Leonard Floyd, just keep Leonard Floyd away from Aaron Rodgers' Achilles.
I mean, that is a good matchup. I mean, I have the Jets offensive line versus the Niners defensive line. So I mean, that is sort of the same thing. You went a little niche. Deeper with that one, a little more niche with it. But when you look at the 49ers, obviously the Jets offensive line was an issue last year. Now they go out and they get Tyron Smith. They've got Morgan Moses now as well. I think the interior should be good. You got Elijah Vera Tucker back. Joe Tippmann's out there. Like, I think that it is a good unit. It really is. It's much better on paper than it was last year. But this is a tough test early on. There's no doubt about it. 49ers in 2023, 88.8 pass rush grade as a team. Now, they don't have Arik Armstead, but still, I think it's a really good unit. Third in the NFL, 409 pressures. That was second in the NFL. 56.6 pass rush win percentage as a team, fourth in the NFL. It's just, that's all it comes down to, truly. Yeah. I think that Rodgers can work his magic even with receivers that aren't named Garrett Wilson enough for this team to at least look competent, be there. I'd pick the 49ers in this game, but I think it'll at least be a really good game as long as the Jets offensive line can hold up. And I think that that's what I'm really hoping for the most, because like you said, I think Jets are on prime time for like another 5 games this season. So we might as well see them play to their best and get some good football out of it. But I think they can. It just all comes down to that offensive line. We've talked so much about it since a year ago, honestly, because we knew that they were going to have to make these changes. So like you said at the very top of the show, now it's time to play some football. Now it's time to see if those changes actually manifest into a much better team than they were last year. Plus factor, who you got?
Along that same vein, we're going to keep talking about the Jets offensive line because it's Tyron Smith. And you sign an all-pro left tackle who hasn't had a healthy season since 2015, I believe. Hasn't played a full season since then. And the good news for the Jets is that they did draft Troy Fautanu, and you have him as a way of, or is it Olafashanu?
No, Olafashanu. Yeah.
Olafashanu. Yeah. There were a lot of there was so many of like Fashanu, similar names in this
Fautanu,
draft.
Fuanga,
Olafashanu to back up Tyron Smith, because it's not an if with Tyron Smith, it's a when. When he is on the field, phenomenal blocker. He had the best pass blocking grade in the year in the league last year. He allowed 1 sack. He did allow 18 hurries. Aaron Rodgers does not like to be hurried. But you do have a contingency plan there for when Tyron Smith goes down, because he will, unfortunately, as good of a player as he is. So I appreciate that the Jets doubled down on the left tackle investment there. But for this game in particular, Tyron Smith is going to be crucial because that offensive line is going to be crucial.
Yeah, I agree. And I love that the fact that they continued to go with offensive line despite bringing in 2 new offensive linemen. I think that that's a good short-term and long-term strategy, honestly, for them with that first-round pick, getting Fashanu in there. My plus factor is Will McDonald. A lot of the drama is coming around with Hassan Reddick. It doesn't look like
Yep.
he's playing week 1. It doesn't look like he's playing anytime in the near future. So somebody else has got to step up. And I think that Will McDonald is somebody who can do that, take that second year leap. Just didn't get a lot of time playing last year. Had an elite passing grade this preseason. Now, it wasn't on a lot of snaps, but still, he was able to play really well. And when you look at this 49ers offensive line, I think a lot of people talk about, oh, they're so good in both of the trenches. Look, they got Trent Williams, and Trent Williams is sick. One of the best offensive tackles in the game, but he's the only offensive lineman on the team last year that had a pass blocking grade above 60. Nobody else had a pass blocking grade above 60. So this matchup, if McDonald's not going up against Trent Williams, it's pretty ripe for them. They're going to be able to get after Brock Purdy. They're going to be able to pressure him. And so I think the Jets defensive line in totality is fantastic. And so it's going to be one of the areas where I think this is sort of like understated, under talked about, not talked about enough, however you want to say it, is the Jets might really have this advantage along the offensive line with how deep and how good their defensive line is. So I think Will McDonald could have a couple of plays in this game that could really be game wrecker for them.